40,040, really, what a pirate should do. The gold in Shandora has been packed, and the initial estimate is worth about 12 billion berry. Definitely a great harvest. Gold is common money, so Kazan doesn't get any fortune. So Kazan and others came to the next stop. Burka. Burka is a small sky island in the south of Sky Island. Ask for directions, and you can reach it easily. This is also the hometown of Enel, which was finally destroyed. With the help of the treasure hunting radar, Kazan is going to try his luck to see if he can touch the Logia thunder fruit, which is called invincibility. Because of the presence of radar, Kazan didn't call Shiki and the others to come and help because the efficiency was not high. No. Kazan flies in the sky at an altitude of 50 meters and his radar range reaches 500 meters. If you start a carpet-like flight, every corner of Burka, whether there is a baby in the air, on the ground, or underground, can also get a system prompt. This skill is simply a magical skill for robbery in the future. You can find out if there are any good things in other pirate groups. After about half an hour of flight, an electronic beep finally sounded in Kazan's ear, and a transparent screen appeared in front of his eyes. The red dot above coincides with the blue dot representing myself. Found it, right below me. Soon, Kazan descends to the ground. It was found that there was only one layer of mossy blue stone bricks. Try to fiddle with the radar panel, the 3D three-dimensional circular map, and start to flip. The red dot is below the center of the heart circle. That treasure is located tens of meters underground. After a few minutes, Kazan finally found a crevice. When I walked in, I saw that it was an underground entrance. And when entering, Kazan was shocked by the scene in front of him. I saw that this is a secret laboratory. IT seems to have been abandoned for a long time. The overall size of a football field is about 10 meters high, and there are some instruments and equipment inside, glass, special metal, and the appearance looks like technology from the moon. These things are the equipment on the Ark Proverbs. These two are glass balls that can communicate with lightning. The world of pirates also includes the civilization of the moon, which is called the Infinite Land, and there are robots that eat electricity. In the end, the Infinite Land also became the endpoint of Enel. Enel used these technologies to go to the moon with Thunderfruit. There is no doubt that these instruments are of great value. Strictly speaking, the Ark is the first purely electric-driven spaceship in the pirate world. It can also travel between stars. The technology contained in it is a dimensionality reduction blow to other pirate ships. It's like the era of horse-drawn carriages meets the age of electricity. If these things are allowed to be studied by genius scientists like Vegapunk, it may become something that benefits all mankind, and it is even easier to create an energy city. I looked around. Kazan found an equipment box on the test bench. He found that the starting point of the treasure hunting radar was launched from there. Open. What came into view was a pile of design drawings. After opening it again, Kazan finally saw a blue devil fruit surrounded by lightning patterns. Dang! Host contact detected, Logia thunder fruit. Fortune value plus 25. Host contact detected, Lunar Science and Technology Handbook. Fortune value plus 30. Current total fortune, 55 points. The fortune value rewarded by this technology handbook actually rewarded 30 experimental points. Thunder fruit is not as much. Thinking about rewards is conditioned on the fact that the better the thing, the more rewards. It can be seen that these design drawings are very valuable. Kazan didn't stop there. He was a scholar, not a scientist, and he couldn't understand these explanatory drawings containing technology, but he knew that every page of the technology handbook here would play a huge role in the future. After putting everything away, Kazan left the secret laboratory. Boom! The peony snake landed from the air to the harbor of Gaia Island. The female warriors have worked hard to carry the gold, and now they are finally done. So Kazan wants them to relax. Do some shopping. Woman, spend whatever you want. As a result, the entire port was full of onlookers as soon as person number 28 got off the ship. I saw their ships come down from the sky with my own eyes. They must be the ones who ring the golden bell. Can you tell me, does the golden bell really exist? So, Wimbula Roland is not talking big? Yes, it must be so. Shandora was originally an ancient city on Gaia Island, known as the Land of Gold. It is said that in ancient times, it was closely related to various countries. A lot of gold was transported from a distant warrior country. But as hundreds of years passed, The Golden Town gradually became a lie that could no longer be refuted. As a result, many local residents on the island who insist on believing in history have doubts about their place of survival, suspecting that their ancestors lied to others, saying that it is a golden town, while there is no gold. No. As Shandora's golden bell strikes, the sound seems to awaken the memory in the genes. Some kind of strange connection, connected by a bell. Facing the eager eyes of the crowd, Kazan could only laugh and said, "Yes, the golden land of Shandora really exists. Just above the sky, there is a golden clock built by your ancestors all their lives." As soon as the words fell, the crowd immediately became agitated. No need. No more. This sentence is enough. Seeing that Kazan intends to enter the town, the surrounding people gave way to the sound of discussion. No. Kazan is in the middle, Brother Shiki is on the left, and Empress Shaki is on the right, followed by a pair of Amazon Lily female warriors. In Magic Valley Town on Gaia Island, such a team rarely appeared, and the momentum was huge. And just outside the crowd, Kazan saw two familiar figures. A man in a straw hat, black shirt, and off-white jeans. Gore D. Roger. And beside him, the one with a big back and blonde hair. Silver Rayleigh. The two of them encountered a storm a month ago and drifted to Gaia Island. The boat stolen by Rayleigh was destroyed. Now the two of them, except for a backpack, are worrying about how to find a new boat. I saw Kazan and others riding a luxurious pirate ship accompanied by beautiful women. Roger straightened up his straw hat and quickly grinned. "Rayleigh, this is how a pirate should be." "Ah, Roger. Did you see the knife in the middleman's hand? It's a precious knife." "Are you crazy, Roger?" Rayleigh held the military flagon, glanced at the young women in Kazan's ranks, and took a sip. Although both of them have the ambition to disrupt the world, it is undeniable that they are also small thieves who have just set out to sea. They have no experience in sailing in the future, and their domineering spirit has not been honed to such a sharp point. 41,041, one piece with a total bounty of 20 million berry. "Hey, Roger, this is not the time to be joking. They are all strong." Guessing what Roger was thinking, Rayleigh felt a headache. Roger's eyes glowed red. "That's why I want to fight them." Grand line, the core is just one word, grab. In the sea, people can win many times and accumulate countless treasures. But if they lose once, they will be taken away by stronger people. Doflamingo lost. Darice Rosa lost. Kaido is defeated and loses Wanakuni's territory. Many people have worked hard for most of their careers, but they are all in vain overnight. This is the truth. Therefore, as long as you observe carefully, you can find that there is a rule in the team in the SEA. As long as the team is complete, well-equipped, and there are many loot, it means that this team has not lost in the competition for a long time. Kazan, Shiki famous knife graduate. Jinhouse configuration has already got full marks, and the team is perfect. A knowledgeable person can judge the strength of the team just by looking at the configuration. Not to mention, the strong have a unique vision, instinctive intuition. However, there is always the chosen one who kills Logia when he doesn't know how to hockey. Rayleigh, I don't think I'm going to lose." Roger lowered the straw hat and smiled slyly. And at this time, the surrounding people suddenly panicked. They are the Kazan brothers. Elder brother Kazan has a bounty of 740 million berry, and younger brother Shiki has a bounty of 520 million berry, the super bounty issued by New World a month ago. But why do they appear in the park in such a short time? Gaia Island. Hiss. Such a bounty is a little scary. The sound of discussion came, and the pirates who were about to make a move completely died down. Rayleigh, don't underestimate people. Roger, Rayleigh, I'm more excited. Rayleigh, I have a headache. And at this time, the other members have gone shopping hippie. Kazan, Shiki, and Shaki only brought 2 guards. Find a tavern to sit down at random and order something casually. As soon as Shiki's glittering figure came with a glance, the people around gave up their seats in panic. After sitting down, of course Kazan knew he was being watched by Roger Rayleigh. But they are all pirate camps, and there is no conflict of interest, so he naturally has no intention of getting involved. Now, go try the weight of One Piece. If you have that time, it is better to read more books. Now Kazan has got the gold of Sky Island. Shipbuilding and the formation of pirates are his first priority. The name of the pirate group, the pirate ship, is the most basic card of a team, and it must be arranged first. Shaki? Of course, I came with a team belonging. It's time to build a pirate group of 2 brothers. Secondly, the thunder fruit I just got also needs to be eaten by myself. I ate Paramecia and Logia here. Let's not say I didn't get the remaining slots, but even if I got them, no matter what, I should give priority to reserving them for phantom beasts that can improve their physical fitness. IT is very important to always have a vacant slot. Shiki can't be eaten anyway. Therefore, if the thunder is not used, it is a waste of resources. Now meet Shaki. Xinglei is a natural booster of knowledge, and she is a good candidate as an intelligence expert. In the future, if there are enough female members, she will be needed to become the detachment leader. Here, Shaki summarizes recent events at sea. Kazan. Rox established a pirate group and recruited Edward Newgate. Last week, the bounty suddenly changed from 940 million berry to 1.24 billion berry. Newgate is a shock fruit-capable person, and the bounty changed from 430 million to 520 million berry. Charlotte Lin and Longbread have recently made their name in the sea, and their bounty is 190 million berry. John. Marine has recently established 14 new branches around Hakanosu, which means that there is movement in this sea area. Shaki's intel did a good job. Even Marine's movement is also concerned. This era. Those who can pay attention can only be those members of the Rocks group in the original book. The lair is also on Pirate Island, Hakanosu. Heard the Rocks recruited to Newgate first. Kazan nodded. How much do you know about Rocks? Not sure. Shaki. Whether it's information in the marine or the underground black market, Rocks has always been a mysterious figure with a bounty, but no information. As early as 15 years ago, his initial bounty was as high as 240 million berry, and then it kept increasing, and there was a break. IT was gone for a long time, and now it popped up again. Judging from the sudden increase in Locke's bounty of 300 million, Marine attaches great importance to its re-entry into the public eye. Perhaps, except for Rocks himself, only a small number of Marine executives know the reason. Fine. Gone. I saw the female warriors coming back from shopping with big bags. Kazan greeted. The message of the present era is becoming clearer. Rocks and Edward Newgate's establishment of the pirates is also a signal of the beginning of an era. When the power is accumulated to a certain extent, the sea will surge wildly. Only. Just when Kazan and his group were about to arrive at the port, 2 figures suddenly appeared in front of Kazan. Without thinking, Shaki turned to look at Kazan. The pirate group that just came out of East Blue. GOLD. Roger, Silver Rayleigh. The bounty is less than 20 million berry. 42042. If you want to subvert the sea, don't be in a hurry. Dang. Detecting crafted treasures within 500 range. Through the treasure hunting radar, I learned that there is a treasure approaching. Looking at the entire island, there is only the sword in Rayleigh's hand. Kazan touches it, and it's another fortune value. As for first-generation Onataru and Sakura Tokikuku, those already owned by the team are not counted. So, Kazan was not surprised that Roger came out to block the way. And the Roger pirates side. After learning that he couldn't stop Roger's challenge, Rayleigh went to inquire about intelligence. As soon as he came back with a shocked face, he saw that Roger had already acted, so he had no choice but to hand over Griffin to Roger and stand together. The atmosphere seemed tense. However, Roger helped the straw hat. His mouth split open suddenly, and he smiled and said, I'm sorry, I'm not here to cause trouble. I want to ask, can you invite me and my companion Rayleigh to a banquet on a boat? Banquet? Go overboard, Roger. Rayleigh was bewildered. But I muttered in my heart, didn't I agree to fight? Shiki immediately frowned when he heard this. Hey, you bastard, what are you thinking? Looking at the entire Gaia island full of small shrimps, it is worth noting the aura of these 2 people. According to Shaki, their heads are only worth 20 million berry, which makes Shiki even more curious. But I can't bear to stop myself from bringing up such a thing as having a banquet. Am I familiar with you? Roger has the gift of listening to everything, and he senses the first-generation ghost in Kazan's hand. There is no murderous intent, no fighting spirit. And Kazan also has the ability to listen to everything and sense the griffin in Roger's arms. There is a fighting intent, but no killing intent. Kazan knew that Roger was looking for a reason for the friendly match, so he stood in front of him, and it would be impolite to refuse. The person who can stir up the situation in the future does not know the level of strength. There is no suitable venue for Gaia Island, and the residents here maintain considerable respect for ringing the golden bell themselves, coming down from Sky Island. Let the living environment of some civilians be messed up because of the fighting. Not a wise choice. A banquet that is so boring. Soon the Xiaoyao snakes set sail and set sail. The deck became lively. The woman of Amazon Lily's life skill point is full, rich meat and drinks are brought up. See such a rich food. Roger's eyes lit up, and he immediately sat cross-legged on the deck, clasping his hands. Thank you for the hospitality. Then I will be impolite. Haha laughed and tore the piece of meat, Guliello. Rayleigh looked left and right, feeling more and more shocked inside. I can see it. The pirate flag of the ship and the design of the ship are more feminine at first glance. It belongs to the beautiful woman named Shiki. She is the captain of the peony pirates. Kazan and Shiki are outsiders. It's just that for some reason both men and ships were conquered by Kazan. Unlike Roger, who is carefree, Rayleigh sees problems more comprehensively and handles things calmly. Kazan can conquer a boatload of people, which is enough to show that his personality is strong enough. He is different from pirates who only know how to fight and kill. A person with arrogance can easily conquer others. This kind of person is destined to be extraordinary in the sea. Even Rayleigh was moved by Roger's arrogance before going to sea. Gulu gulu. Roger swallowed the piece of meat and immediately lowered his head. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Rayleigh looked serious and said solemnly, Roger, he is not simple. He is a man who can conquer a pirate group with courage. Roger watched Kazan with interest. Then reach over and clink glasses with the nearest Shiki. Just like a rascal. Of course, Shiki looked dissatisfied. But Shiki knew that Kazan never did unnecessary things, so Shiki also guessed that the two were different from ordinary people, but facing Roger's enthusiastic clink of glasses, he still refused and couldn't help saying, Roger bastard, drink with me, you are qualified well. Qualifications? Whoa. Roger held his wine glass in one hand and squeezed his chin in the other, as if thinking, qualifications, but it doesn't matter, right? Shiki turned his head away and down his drink. Cut. I thought I could say something. Pirates. I am used to staying at sea, and other than eating and drinking, my spare time activities are bragging and farting and exchanging information. The wine is in place. Roger and Rayleigh also volunteered to share their knowledge of East Blue. Obviously, compared to what the Kazan brothers have seen and heard, the current experience of the Roger pirates is as clean as a blank sheet of paper. Shiki is not interested at all. It was dragged by Roger to talk about some topics about Wanakuni and bounty increase. Knowing that Kazan and Shiki have been to the country of samurai and relying on swordsmanship to set up a ring in Wanakuni, they defeated dozens of Wanakuni wandering samurai and finally won the two famous swords of Sakura-ten and Muku. Roger's eyes lit up immediately. Oh, the kingdom of samurai and legendary? Amazing experience. Shiki, you actually defeated so many samurai and won the famous sword in their hands. You are an amazing person. Facing Roger's way of making friend, Shiki couldn't resist. Jia, what is this? Then, I was dragged to briefly explain the encounter with Sengoku Garp in New World. Hearing this, Rayleigh was so surprised that he got up directly. Garp, that East Blue maniac, did you fight those two ruthless Marines? The sailing experience of these two people has been enriched to such an extent. Even now, Garp's reputation has spread throughout the East Blue, and the pirates are fleeing. Roger pulled Rayleigh to sit down. Rayleigh, we will have it in the future. If you want to subvert the sea, don't be in a hurry. Seeing that the banquet was almost over, the ship also sailed to a place with a deserted island. Kazan smiled and said, Then after so much delay, you can tell your purpose, Roger, Rayleigh. Roger took a rare serious look and raised his head. I'm here to discuss with you. Kazan, I can see that you are very strong. Since the other party tried their best to come to the door, Kazan naturally would not refuse. How could it spoil the interest of the guests? Brush. At that moment, everyone could only feel a white light flashing in front of them, and they couldn't help blinking. In just a short time, Kazan and Roger have already teleported to the deserted island. In a short time, several tricks have passed. 43-043. Rival Roger, boring Rayleigh. The bounty is 740 million. It's real. Roger just finished speaking. Kazan appeared in front of Roger in an instant, so fast that he wanted to tear the air. The moment first-generation Guiche came out of the scabbard, He had already come to Roger and swung his saber down. Roger's Griffin also locks on Kazan at the same time. Brush. The moment they stepped onto the deserted island, the two shot at the same time. In a short time, several moves have been completed. There was a clanging sound. The distance is opened more than 10 meters in an instant, as if they will teleport. A few strands of Kazan's blonde hair fell out. On the right side of Roger's face, there was a wound, and a line of bright red blood slid down his cheek uncontrollably. It's amazing. The swordsmanship has reached such a level that I almost got hurt. Kazan couldn't help but praise. "Oh," Roger said with a smile. "Your sword skills are really good, precise, efficient, and very fierce. It was really dangerous just now. But the knife in your hand, the wound caused really hurts. It hurts more than a broken bone. What is certain is that in terms of sword skills alone, Kazan has the upper hand. He can injure the opponent in the cold sword fight. If the distance between each of them was 1 centimeter closer in the previous attack, Roger's wound may be deeper. Kazan's control of the safe distance is still accurate." The voice fell. Roger releases armament haki, covering Griffin's blade, and Kazan saw the first trial over. Also used armament haki, which covered the blade with precision. Standing at the bow of the boat, Rayleigh was amazed at the battle on the island. "Shiki, what a strong armament haki! Your brother's haki is very accomplished. He is indeed a monster who ran out of New World." Shiki's eyes gradually became hot. Looking at Rayleigh, his fighting spirit was rampant. "What about your strength?" "I can't." Seeing Shiki's eyes, Rayleigh hastily raised his hand innocently. "Look, I don't even have a knife in my hand." "Shiki, it's boring." Now that Roger has set up a duel, the nature of this duel has changed, and Rayleigh doesn't want extra complications. Moreover, in Rayleigh's view, Shiki is definitely a good player, and he must be a well-known strong man, but his personality is not as measured as his big brother. For someone like Shiki, the process will definitely make me very painful. Rayleigh is a very stable person, so he naturally knows the role he is playing now. If he goes to sea with Roger, a carefree person, if he doesn't have a little control to control the situation, the ship will capsize if he doesn't pay attention. Compared with the sea, how to keep not losing is the more difficult thing. "Bring it on, Kazan." Roger clenched the griffin in his hand and released the dark armament haki with all his might. The voice just fell. The two rushed towards each other like arrows leaving the string. Ping, pong. The two famous knives collided together, making a crisp sound. The moment they collided, 2 streams of Conqueror's haki were released simultaneously. Rayleigh could see that this wasn't a purely sword fight. Fencing? Sword move? I've already tried the last few moves, and I've already started not only using moves, but also leaning towards haki. Could it be that the winner has already been decided in terms of swordsmanship? So fast. The collision of power. Armament haki's collision. Conqueror's haki's collision. The 3 inconceivable forces collided at this moment. The airwaves hit, and the sea was rolled up. Even the Xiaoyao snake in the distance began to shake violently, and the seawater on the hull was pushed away. What a terrifying power! Shaki couldn't help opening his eyebrows slightly, and unconsciously tightened his hand holding the railing. At this moment, the surrounding air velocity increased over the entire sea surface, like a sudden change in the wind and clouds. Black lightning flashed and disappeared, but even for a moment, it was so powerful that it seemed to distort the space. "My lord, Kale can't take it anymore." In the competition between the two, Conquerors was raging, and Amazon Lily's female warrior, who was weak, was a little dizzy, and 2 of them fell to the ground. And at this time, the battle on the deserted island has reached a fever pitch. Roger held a knife in both hands and galloped on the ground. His eyes actually glowed red. Same. Kazan also rushed over with a knife, jumped directly into the sky, and slashed down with the first-generation ghost in both hands. Boom. A powerful force came from above, and Roger felt his legs sinking, and the sand around him shot out suddenly, and the airwave immediately rolled up, filling the entire battlefield with smoke and dust. Roger gritted his teeth and sighed. "The sword skills are superb, and the strength is also powerful. You are indeed a monster." With the collision of swords, thunder flashed on the island again. After all, Roger didn't eat devil fruit, and Kazan didn't choose to use his ability. Otherwise, he would be too bullying. Judging from the duel between the two, Roger still lacked a little bit of means, and haki didn't grow to the point of crushing others. The danger of the sea is also an opportunity. Whoever can grasp it can quickly become stronger. Rayleigh saw this happening on board. I also understand that this is a good opportunity to end the fight. After all, Roger and Kazan are both strong, and they can't tell the winner for a while. He immediately shouted at the two of them, "Hello, Roger, Kazan, if you continue to compare, this ship will fall apart. You all stop." The voice came. Roger wrestled with a knife and immediately erupted with a burst of violent force. With this power, Kazan kicked the griffin that Roger was holding. Both were strained, and Roger took a few steps back. Kazan floated a few meters away by the wind and landed lightly. "It seems that today's duel did not satisfy you, Kazan." Roger withdrew his power after finishing speaking. "Kazan, there will be a chance to decide the winner in the future." Roger squeezed half of his face that felt a little numb. "Oh really? What you are holding is a demon sword. With my constitution, it would be difficult to fight against this wound. It's unbelievable." Roger twitched his lips and hissed. "Being stabbed is really an unwise choice." Kazan said, Its name is first-generation Kataru, and it is indeed a demon sword, which ranks among the top 12 swords." Roger's words also made Kazan pay attention. Could it be that the first-generation Guha will make the target's wound appear special effect? Oh, a precious sword like Griffin. Where did you get it? Roger was curious about the origin of first-generation Onitsu, because he lacked a famous sword to accompany him. Kazan said, "To be precise, it is in the hands of the world government." Roger was taken aback. "The world's government? Have you reached this point yet? That's amazing." Roger sighed, his eyes lit up, and he approached. He couldn't help but look at the first-generation HA for a while. The blade is as clean as a mirror, and it is indeed a forged handle. Great knife from Ultimate. Kazan also took a look at Griffin, who was in the style of a Western sword. This knife appeared with shanks in the first chapter of the original book, and later Roger and Whitebeard Conqueror's entangled memories. It was the saber in Rayleigh's hand at that time. No matter the color matching or the shape of each part of the knife, it was the same handle. Now Roger did not get the supreme sword ace. Kazan can still feel the desire of a master swordsman for a famous sword. Otherwise, he would not have taken Shiki to Wanakuni to find a sword early. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Kazan's fingers inadvertently slid across Griffin's body. Dang! Post-contact detected. Crafting treasure, 12 great swordsmen, Griffin. Reward, fortune worth 10 points. 44,044. Bystanders on the sea, arriving in the capital of water. Kazan's ship is already on its way to the capital of the Seven Waters. It is still in the early days. Even if Roger and Rayleigh are famous in later generations, they are still fledglings now, and they don't have too many wonderful experiences. Kazan is not interested in talking with them in depth for the time being. Meet and learn from each other. It's just an episode in the sea. After the first fight, the two of Roger encountered a small pirate ship. After resolutely grabbing it, we parted from Kazan and others. The peony snake on deck. Shiki asked, "Brother, seeing that you haven't used the fruit ability, it seems that the opponent is nothing more than that." "You can't say that, Shiki." Kazan, his current sword skills are not as good as yours, but you have to understand that when a person is fighting to the death, his potential will explode, and no one should be underestimated. There are many ways to fight in the sea. Sword skills and devil fruit are just one of them. Don't slack off in the cultivation of hockey. Roger's hockey use will be very successful in the future. Hearing this, Shiki pondered, is hockey combined with swordsmanship the mainstream? For you, yes. At this time, Shaki came to Kazan, the capital of Seven Waters. The most famous shipyard is Benjamin's studio. Then go to Benjamin's studio. Who is Benjamin? Never heard of that. What studio builds the ship? Kazan doesn't actually care. Whose plan is easy to use? Kazan only knew that Tom's workshop was very famous later on. IT was the company established by the boatman Murloc Tom and Legendary. Later, he was arrested by Mariehua for building a ship for Roger. Later, he also produced the Sea Train and was finally framed by Spandam, executed at Eni's lobby. The reason why I pay attention to this Murloc is because he may have the Pluton blueprint in his hand. This is a drawing that has been handed down for 800 years. But at this point in time, Kazan doesn't know whether he can meet Tom now, and whether he has the Pluton blueprint is also unknown. Let's go. Shiki, fly low, start from the sea from now on. After getting the treasure hunting radar, in order not to miss the treasure floating on the sea, Kazan decided that it would be better for his ship to fly lower in the future. If there is nothing urgent to do, sailing on the sea is also a new experience. After all, I got lion fruit at the beginning. What is it like to sail? I have never experienced it. On the other side, the Sea of Paradise. On the pirate ship that Roger and Rayleigh snatched, there were strewn bandages and bottles and jars of potion all over the cabin. Looking at Rayleigh, who scattered things on the ground, Roger said, "It hurts. Rayleigh, take it easy." Hiss. That first-generation Guiche is really scary. A little deeper, and the bones will be cut by him. Compared with the arms and thighs of the human face, the skin is very thin, and the bones can be seen without paying attention. With a powerful constitution, this small injury did not need to be bandaged, but perhaps because the first-generation Guiche is a bit special, the injury on Roger's face did not stop bleeding for a long time. Rayleigh bandaged Roger. "What's his price, Roger?" "A few hairs," Roger said truthfully. Hearing this, Rayleigh was obviously taken aback. A wound that only replaces a few hairs. Rayleigh manipulated Roger's face with limited medical skills and said, "Your first thought was not to snatch the knife. Why did you change your mind? I thought you would mess around. Will you change your mind? Otherwise, it will be troublesome." Roger replied after thinking for a while, "I originally planned to do that, but after getting close, I couldn't feel the fighting spirit on him. He was like an outsider on the sea, watching the people on the sea do everything. The battle I proposed did not arouse the opponent's fighting spirit. He didn't even use the fruit's ability. It wasn't fun this time, Rayleigh. It's still a long time. It's very normal." Hearing this, Rayleigh commented, "A big brother who plans strategies, a younger brother who can stand up at any time, with strange abilities. The pirate team formed by these two people will not be easy in the future. When they really show their fangs, I'm afraid the whole sea will boil because of them." "Really?" Roger laughed. "That's not good. Isn't the sea more exciting?" "Rayleigh, so where do we go now? Any plans?" Roger said optimistically, "Become stronger. Rayleigh, this sea is not easy." The capital of Seven Waters is a city with a long history. Even though it is attacked every year, it is still not destroyed. Since a long time ago, this place has become a paradise for all shipwrights. Before Meriewa's shipbuilding technology was perfected, the shipyard here was responsible for providing a large number of warships to Marine, and the number was horrifying. Certainly. I want to ask the most glorious time of the capital of Seven Waters. That must have been 800 years ago. Because the super battleship named Pluton was built by the shipbuilders of the Water City 800 years ago. Pluton is also known as one of the three ancient weapons, and a single shot in Legendary can destroy an island. The emergence of Pluton once made the water capital a holy place in the hearts of boatmen. What a beautiful view! Is this the capital of the Seven Waters? What a beautiful place! What a big waterfall! Woo! Make a wish! When Kazan's ship arrived on the island, Warrior, the Lily of the Amazons, was stunned by the city, which looked like a giant fountain. The most indispensable thing in the Grand Line is the characteristic islands, and the water capital is undoubtedly the representative of them. Back from New World last time. Because I was rushing to Sky Islands to get gold, I didn't stop on the road and missed a lot of scenery. Whether it is Shiki or Shaki and others, the world has not yet fully developed. It's only natural to be shocked when you see a new island. Everyone worked hard along the way. Let's play for a while. 45045, Shipbuilding, Devil Fruit. After the Xiaoyao snake entered the port, Kazan asked Shaki to distribute a certain amount of berry to the crew and let them shop and relax. After all, the capital of water is also a commercial city, and it is also a tourist attraction in the first half of the Grand Line, where new clothes from all over the world, special earrings and jewelry, etc. If a woman dresses brightly and has various characteristics, she will also be eye-catching during the voyage. Kazan thinks it's worth the money. Sailing is a very torturous thing, especially staying on the ship for a long time, which is a kind of mental torture. Going to the island has become the only way for many people to relax. Fortunately, there are no longer two brothers on board, and now they are starting to build a new ship. A new pirate ship will bring infinite improvements to the sailing environment. At this time, the female warriors happily disembarked, waving their arms to greet Kazan's Shaki. On deck, Shaki watched it all from Kazan's side. She is trying to show her worth. Not only is she dealing with intelligence, supplies, and other work, but she is also assigning manpower for management. One night a few days ago, Shaki also asked Kazan about moving the islands for the daughter kingdom afterwards. After all, as the future ruler of the Daughter Kingdom, sailing itself is for the future of Amazon Lily. Kazan told her with certainty that it would be fine in the future. From the moment he was cured of lovesickness, Shiki was determined to follow Kazan. Now that she heard the promise again, she felt very lucky. Moreover, in the past, she had to decide all the big and small things on the ship alone. Since the team was completely handed over to Kazan, the Empress status was not so heavy on her, but the whole person relaxed a lot. Lovesickness came too timely. Woohoo, fortunately, I'm sick. Shiki even felt that. If he hadn't suffered from lovesickness and parted ways with Kazan, normally in the water capital at this moment, he would cry to death. After about a month, I got tired of staying in Shiki City of Water and went to play casually. The female soldiers on the ship were not tired going out for a walk during the day, and they went back to live on the snake at night. That's how the pirates work. The City of Water is hit by a tsunami called Aquaragna every year. After the tsunami, a special flavor of sea salt will be left under the eaves of the residents. The local residents will use this sea salt for cooking. This sea salt is unique throughout the Grand Line. When Kazan arrived, it was just after the tsunami hit, and it was the best food season. The watery meat is served with a pinch of sea salt, and the taste is quite wonderful. Ah, so delicious. Even though he has eaten it many times, Shiki can't help being amazed every time. Turning his head, he suggested, I'll ask them to prepare more sea salt for the boat later. Oh yes, Benjamin's studio just said that the design of the boat has been prepared, and we can go there to make a final decision at any time. Really, let's go. Benjamin's studio headquarters, in the reception meeting room. Shizhong of the Water City and Benjamin, the president of the shipbuilding studio, saw Kazan coming. Immediately stood up with a face full of attention. Kazan in front of him, despite his young age, is the biggest client Benjamin has ever seen. But as for Kazan's information, Benjamin already knew about it, but he would not bring it up on purpose. Everyone in Grand Line should find their own position. He is just a businessman. As an important hub of the Grand Line, the City of Seven Waters carries all boat services. As long as you buy berry, the boatman will arrange it for you. His customers are not only Marines, but also all pirates. But this is the first time Benjamin has seen a pirate with a bounty of 740 million berry. After sitting down, Benjamin introduced himself and began to discuss shipbuilding. Touching his beard, he said, Mr. Kazan, please take a look at the design drawing here and modify it if you are not satisfied. However, for such a large ship with such specifications, in order to improve efficiency, I would like to unite the 4 shipyards in the water capital, collect the best materials from all shipyards, and jointly build them together. I, Benjamin, guarantee with my industry reputation that the studio will strictly complete every process. I don't know if you agree with this method. Of course, Kazan felt fine. Take a look at the design drawing. The length of the entire ship was designed by Benjamin's studio to be 135 meters. Sunshine Sunny is 39 meters and 56 meters high. The bow of the ship is a dragon head and body ready to go, which is designed to resemble the wind dragon of the Fruit of the Wind. Under the dragon head is a roaring lion. It's about to spray all the time. These bow decorations will be plated with a layer of gold. In addition to a huge hidden swimming pool on the deck, the most prominent is the bow and stern. Under the premise of ensuring the structure of the ship, the layout inside meets all the conditions of life. After all, counting the timeline, there are still 19 years before the most famous battle of the Valley of the Gods, and there is still a long way to go. And there may be new members joining. Kazan is ready to do it in one step, so the big design sum. Anyway, with wind control, it is not difficult to run. Of course, Kazan considered that there will be female Amazon warriors coming in the future, and there is a certain chance of recruiting male members, so the whole ship is divided into 2 parts, the front and the back. The bow, let Shiki take care of it. The stern to Shiki. After all, Kazan got some lunar instruments in Sky Island, as well as technical drawings, so he reserved a space at the bottom of the ship, and if conditions permit, he will install some new technologies in the future. Why not pretend now? The boatman couldn't understand those blueprints. Also, Kazan is unwilling to show it to outsiders for research. Soon, representatives from several other shipyards, as well as elite boatmen, came to the meeting room. Coincidentally, Tom the Murloc is among them. After half an hour of negotiation with several shipyards, Benjamin finally gave the final quotation. 600 million berry, this is the price after VIP discounts. Hearing Benjamin's offer, Shiki felt a pain in the flesh. 600 million berry. It has exceeded the total output value of a small country for a whole year. No problem. Kazan confirmed. For this price, he has no problem. The shipbuilding industry in the City of Water is the best in the world. Legendary boatman Murloc Tom, as the most outstanding shipbuilder in later generations, also came to participate in the project, proving that Benjamin sent an elite team. In order to take care of more Amazon Lily female soldiers in the future, the interior design of the ship is different from that of ordinary pirate ships. It took Benjamin's team a month to overcome the structural design of the bow and stern. As for the materials used, the value of the treasure tree atom used as the keel alone is more than 250 million berry. So Kazan happily accepted the offer. Returned to the suite set by the water capital. Shiki plunged headlong into the big soft bed, muttering incessantly. Except for the higher price, everything else went well. 600 million berry. 600 million berry. And when she turned her head, I saw Kazan make up a blue devil fruit out of thin air. Shiki's eyes were amazed immediately. Hey, this is 46,046. Everything is ready. Only Shiki is owed. Devil fruit? What kind of ability is this? Shiki hurriedly picked up the devil fruit, completely stunned, and said in shock, "Is this for me?" Honestly. Although Shiki is a novice who has not been out to sea for a long time. But as an intelligence expert, she still knows devil fruit very well. Certainly. She knew that owning a devil fruit would undoubtedly improve her strength in a short period of time. The problem is, Shiki never dreamed of it. Kazan actually gave himself such a precious devil fruit. Yes, this is the devil fruit that can make people fly into the sky, and it is also Logia, thunder fruit. After eating, you will have the power to control thunder. Logia? The invincible Logia. Shiki was excited, but didn't reach out to take it. Instead, he shook his head with a tangled face, or forget it. It's such a waste to give me such a precious thing. Perhaps seeing the strength of Kazan and Shiki, Shiki subconsciously believed that the fruit must be paired with top-level powerhouses in order to exert its greatest effect. Reasonable allocation of resources is the most important thing for a team. She was right. But in the sea, how many people can stir up the situation in this era? In the center of the battleground, there are no more than 10 rocks on the team. And Shiki is one of them. Still, Shiki was touched by Kazan's behavior. She knew that Kazan's wind fruit was Logia, and she saw it all. Incomparable. So after learning that it was thunder fruit, Shiki knew its inestimable value. Seeing Shiki's appearance, Kazan couldn't help laughing and then stroked Shiki's hair. You have to learn to be confident. After all, you are a woman I value very much, understand? The ability of this fruit will allow you to help me better. Go, I'll take you to eat this devil fruit. Shiki was moved with tears in his eyes and nodded vigorously. Yeah, came to a desert island. Kazan watched from the sky, and Shiki on the deserted island ate the thunder fruit in one gulp. It's really unpalatable, but I want to vomit. It's just as unpalatable as described in the information. Hey, the power in my body is beating, like 10,000 lightning arcs. Shiki froze for a moment, subconsciously feeling the changes in his body, and just now. Boom. At this moment, a vigorous thunder force, billions of thunder snakes erupted from Shiki. Kazan subconsciously rose to higher altitudes. I was thinking in my heart, would there be a scene like a natural disaster? I saw Shiki's body at the moment like a blue thunderball, covered with blue lightning. On the deserted island, a dozen lightning bolts suddenly fell from the sky, and the bombardment exploded on the ground. The huge sound waves would shake the rocks crumble. However, it's just that. The whole process only takes a few minutes. Seeing this result, Kazan was not disappointed. Thunder fruit was definitely a top-level fruit, and there were no natural disasters, which can only show that the thunder fruit is special, or the island where the thunder fruit is located is special. Kazan could not help but look at the black text in the space. What is the connection between this? Soon, looking at the elemental Shiki, Kazan smiled and said, "From now on, you'll eat Logia's ability users." Shiki nodded heavily. As an intelligence expert, she has an excellent mind and has known about devil fruit for a long time. Devil fruit is divided into 3 categories: Zoan, Paramecia, Logia. In general, Zoan is the weakest fruit, Paramecia is the most complex, and Logia is the rarest, and is recognized as the strongest of the 3 categories. The reason why Logia ranks the strongest, it is because its application is extremely wide, and the lower limit is infinitely raised. It's a rookie's nightmare. And if you get the damage attribute ability in Logia, it is almost impossible to solve. There is no doubt that thunder is the unsolvable ability among natural elements. After adapting to Thunderfruit's ability, Shiki hugged him up, and he came out of Kazan's arms after a long time of acting like a baby. There seemed to be blue arcs jumping in his beautiful eyes, and he looked at Kazan firmly and said, "I will definitely become your most trusted people. I'm looking forward." Kazan nodded with a smile. Shiki has been completely pinched by Kazan into the shape he wants. Then, the next thing is simple, just develop the fruit ability. Not only Shiki, but Kazan too. As long as he is trained properly, the future Shiki will definitely become a strong player like Charlotte Linlin. Time passed. In a blink of an eye, it was already 8 months later. Kazan spread out his palms, and a secluded green wind ball the size of 2 fists twirled frantically in his hands. The strength of devil fruit lies in the physical strength and imagination of the capable person. Physical strength, like the blue bar of the character in the game. And imagination refers to how a person with abilities uses their abilities. Get inspiration from Whitebeard's ability to compress seismic waves into a pellet and then explode, and from Hokage Naruto's ability to compress wind attributes into Rasengan, which increases damage. Kazan can now also concentrate a certain amount of small storms on his hands and continuously flow them in irregular directions, compressing them to form palm-sized wind pressure pellets. And release means palm, first generation Geiche. Wind blows but out. It's all possible. Boom. Kukiuzi Lala. A huge rock was blasted by the wind pressure in front of Kazan, and the stones flew out and were chopped by the wind. Then Kazan made a roundabout kick, and a green light wind blade slashed across. Another boulder was cut off in the middle, and the incision was no different from being cut by a famous knife. Kazan looked at the gravel on the ground with a satisfied expression. And at this time, a thunderbolt fell from the sky and exploded nearby. After the thunder flicker disappeared, a figure appeared in front of Kazan. Shiki smiled and said, "Kazan, our ship has been built, and we can go back to the capital of 7 Waters." Heard the words. Kazan took a look at his panel, which was now improved. Host Kazan. Swordsmanship, LV 77. Constitution, LV 77. Observation Hockey, LV 57, Branch 1, for seeing the future. Armament Hockey, LV 57, Branch 1, Flow. Conqueror's Hockey, LV 57. Lion Fruit Wind Fruit, LV 57. Special Talent, Listening to All Things. Treasure Radar Searching. Fortune, 65. Portable Space /Books /Black Boulder /Fresh Water /Food. Experience Value, 0. Teams, Resources, Ships. Already. The rest is to compete in the sea. Carve your brand in the era. Say a few words. Kazan said to Shiki, "Call Shiki, we're leaving for New World." Shiki has been notified, and he said he will be there soon. Soon, a small temporary ship began to lift off and return to the water capital. 47-047, Headshot Celestial Dragons, shocked Marineford. Meanwhile, Sabaody Island. Sabaody Island has the largest mangrove tree in the world, the Alkaman mangrove. Because the roots of the trees are always exposed to the water, coupled with their almost invincible vitality, the seeds of the big trees fell again. Over time, the entire group of trees formed the Sabaody archipelago. The roots of the Alkaman mangrove secrete a special natural resin due to respiration. The resin expands with air to form bubbles, and then flies to the sky. The bubbles will burst when they leave the climate of Sabaody Island. Let this unique island become a unique scenery in the world. Because it is backed by the holy land of Red Line, Mariawa, Sabaody Island has also become the back garden of celestial dragons. Certainly, this is also where Shiki relaxes while building the pirate ship. 1st GR to 29th GR. Human trafficking shop, no legal zone. Auction house. Fuya, the female warrior from Amazon Lily, said, "Master Shiki, the Empress spoke on the phone and said that the ship has been built and can sail today." Shiki, so fast. Has my brother arrived yet? Still on the way back. Fuya said, "Don't worry, it's my first time entering the auction house. I'll leave after buying this one." Okay, Master Shiki, there's not only human trafficking in the auction house, but also devil fruit transactions. 1 fruit will be auctioned this time. In the early years, the 2 brothers started their business by getting Paramecia lion fruit by accident. 4 devil fruit, Shiki still attaches great importance to it. Soon, the auctioneer came on stage. The next auction item, this is a secret treasure of the sea. After identification, is Paramecia door fruit. The starting price is 100 million berry. Following the auctioneer's introduction, the on-site bidders immediately became restless in the audience. This is devil fruit. Woo, Paramecia's is pretty good too. Do you know any specific information? Devil fruit will not publish information. The auction is entirely based on luck, and it also depends on the later development. Paramecia? Door fruit? Shiki doesn't quite understand the specific ability of this fruit. But the person came down from Sky Island, and he has quite a lot of money. Hundreds of millions of berry can be paid out. 120 million berry. Fuya held up the sign. In a short period of time, this fruit of the door has been called 220 million berry on the field. At this price, Shiki is also a pain in the ass. Under Shiki's instruction, Fuya once again raised a placard, 300 million berry, and just after calling out the price, a man in a black suit came up to him. Hey, where are the untouchables from? Do you know who is bidding with you? But Fig Allen Leonker's saint. If you dare to be presumptuous, you will be sent to prison as a slave. What the hell? Shiki didn't even look at the person coming. Tell that thing to go. Hiss. Shiki's voice fell, and the audience fell into a deathly silence. Everyone never expected that in Sabaody Island, someone would dare to call the celestial dragons, the nobles of the world, ghosts. He even told him to fuck off. Is this golden retriever crazy? Where is the country boy from? Doesn't he know the name of celestial dragons? They are a family of gods codenamed Holy. Although wearing a glass cover, Fig Allen Leonker's Saint Belt clearly heard Shiki's words. She coughed up her snot, and there was a lot of anger in her eyes. There is only one word for this kind of pariah: death. Of course, celestial dragons who never regard other creatures as human beings naturally have their own bad tastes. They like to let those pariahs be abused both psychologically and physically. 600 million berry. The people around Leonkers immediately raised their cards. The audience was silent again. Nemo, one Paramecia devil fruit, is worth 600 million berry. It's as good as a pig. But after thinking about it, I understood that they are indeed celestial dragons, and their financial resources are the most in the world. There is no auction item they want, and no matter what the price is, it is drizzle for the nobles who harvest the world. This price, of course, exceeded Shiki's expectation. The auction house is not the ocean, so it is best to follow the rules when entering. Keep your style, don't buy it if you don't have enough money. Otherwise, it will be looked down upon. With a trace of regret, Shiki intends to leave. And at this moment, Leonkers was playing with the dwarf fruit in his hand and stopped in front of Shiki. Everyone around broke out in a cold sweat. That blonde kid. Trouble. There is no doubt that he must die. Really. In the next second, Leonkers suddenly raised the gold musket at his waist. Aim for Shiki. Boom. As the gunpowder exploded, the scene immediately filled with smoke. Huge gunshots sounded in the auction house. The buzzing reverberation made the scalp tingle. Everyone was shocked, and they were sure that the blonde boy's head had blossomed. Next second. Painful wailing immediately resounded throughout the audience. Wait for the dust to clear. All of them looked at the field with dull eyes. Many people had already put their fingers in their mouths. Their eyes were terrified, as if they saw something they had never seen before. I see. The figure of Shiki Gold has stood up. In one hand is the devil fruit that celestial dragons just snapped, and in the other hand is a gold musket. And in front of Jean Shiki, the noble celestial dragon's Leonker's saint was already kneeling on the ground, trembling at this moment. His hands had been severed, the bones, muscles, were exposed to the air, the scarlet blood from the blood vessels out of chaos. Leonkers wailed. Tears and snot sprayed on the glass cover. Disgusting. The whole picture is brutal and violent. Not good. Celestial dragons are injured. Run. If you dare to attack celestial dragons, you will be hunted down by Marine. We are here to buy goods, not to die. Celestial dragons was hacked, and the auction house immediately went into chaos. Stop it. He is Fig Allen Leonker's saint, the most honorable master celestial dragons. The people around Leonkers were stupefied at the moment. Dare to attack celestial dragons, Marine will send people to encircle you. You're dead, said the man in black. Shoot. Shiki tossed the devil fruit in his toss. Then it's okay if I don't make a move. Without any hesitation, Shiki raised the musket in his hand. Boom. As the gunpowder exploded, the scene was filled with smoke again. The smoke dissipated. A bullet hole appeared in the glass cover of Fig Allen Leonker's Saint immediately, and his head, like a watermelon in a juicer, was red, white, and indescribable, smashed and covered the entire glass cover. It's over. It's over. The assistant brought by Celestial Dragons trembled and collapsed on the ground. Celestial Dragons headshot. This is something big that never happened on Sabaody Island. The world will be shocked by it. Soon, there was a team of Marines that surrounded the auction house. Marine is a violent agency under Mariewa. Naturally know the first time. Marine Ford. Admiral Office. What? Shiki appears and shot Celestial Dragons on Sabaody's island. Kong's shocked voice echoed throughout the office. The surrounding Marine Vice Admiral all shrank their necks. Trouble. Celestial Dragons were killed in front of people. This is worse than executing a Marine Vice Admiral in front of Marine. 48-048. Sengoku's plan. Most targeted at Shiki's siege. Celestial Dragons were killed. This kind of thing actually happened. Kong felt his scalp go numb when he heard the news. In the office, there was a collective silence, waiting for Kong to speak. The atmosphere was even more gloomy and terrifying. In a place like Sabaody, the Celestial Dragons were killed, and the nature of the matter has completely changed. This is a bad event that can affect Mariewa. Shiki is blatantly making an enemy of Mariewa. After Kong's words fell, the surrounding vice admirals gasped. If this news spreads, it will discredit all Celestial Dragons. This is much more serious than a pirate killing a high-ranking Marine. What's more, the location is the bustling Sabaody Island. Such big news cannot be hidden. In the office, Kong stood up and took a few steps. Everyone could see that his steps were full of anger. The last time the two brothers were intercepted and killed, there was no result in the end, and the storm can be used to turn the chapter over. But if it is not handled well this time, the upper echelons may be even more furious. I can only do my best to take Shiki's head. Otherwise, there is no way to explain it. Kong paused, remembering that after the last mission, Sengoku had submitted an analysis report on Brother Kazan. It explains in detail the weaknesses of the two brothers' fruit and also gives a plan to deal with them. Take it out of the drawer and open it. Weakness analysis of lion fruit ability users. 1. When fluttering people use their abilities, they have a light body and are afraid of storms and other disturbing factors that affect their movements. 2. Piao Piaoran's flying combat power is not as good as the flying demon fruit power of the same level. 2. Piao Piao people must release their floating ability and stand on the ground in order to exert their proper strength. Suggestion: start Predator Project. Reporter Sengoku. Predator Project. It is a targeted strategy made by Sengoku for Lion Fruit's tricky ability. Devil Fruit has power beyond imagination. That's right. But Devil Fruit also has its own weaknesses. Like Sand Fruit, they like to be dry and afraid of water. Dice Fruit was defeated by Chop Fruit. In fact, just analyze. Every Devil Fruit more or less has its own weaknesses. After Sengoku fought Shiki in the sea area of Haifeng Island, he found that although Shiki's agility was full in the air, it was unpredictable, but he couldn't show his full strength at the same level. The single-body attack power is not high. Even if Sengoku is restricted everywhere on the warship, Shiki can't help him. A fight down. Sengoku also deduced some key information about Piao Piao ability users. Afterwards, Sengoku refined this information to make a plan. It is enough for the headquarters to respond to the fluttering ability of the Kazan brothers. Even Kong has already started to make arrangements for the two brothers. Now Shiki is alone in Sabaody Island. It's a good time to hunt. Empty Admiral. Can't let it go. Send someone there. Reports are coming from the scene. Celestial Dragons' hands were cut off, and their heads were completely smashed by musket guns. The scene has been photographed by reporters, and it will spread all over the world soon. Shiki is still on Sabaody Island. Kill us Marine soldiers. The Marine Vice Admirals were chattering and chatting. Kong got a headache and said dissatisfiedly, "Shut up. Call Leighton, Seth, and Yulio to meet me." The configuration of these three people is enough to make Lion Fruit-capable people inescapable. Just in case. Kong continued to add, also contact Sengoku, Garp, and Zephyr immediately and return to the headquarters from New World immediately. Marine Admiral sits in the headquarters and cannot move. But Marine has a lot of combat power reserves. On the other side, the capital of Seven Waters. It's a completely different vibe from naval headquarters. On the new pirate ship, female warriors were running around on the deck. The sea breeze is blowing, and the face is filled with excitement. It's beautiful. What a big boat. We are finally going to New World. Master Kazan, what is the name of this ship? And what is the name of our pirate group? Hearing this, Kazan smiled. Wait until Shiki comes to decide. As the elder brother, Kazan can make any decision. But in order to take care of Shiki's growth, we still have to pull him out to discuss it. Cultivating a strong man is not only concerned with his combat power. Also pay attention to the establishment of his personality. This will be of great help to Shiki in the future. Just like last time, Roger found the boat and proposed a discussion. If it were Shiki who had a bad temper before, he would definitely participate in it, or find a chance to shoot Rayleigh. But because Shiki knew that the discussion was not about interests, and knew that Kazan had made a decision, it would be unwise for him to intervene. If you do anything out of line, you will lose face, which is a sign of disrespect for your elder brother. So Shiki held back. For days afterward, Shiki complained that Rayleigh was a coward. But is Rayleigh really cowardly? No more than his captain, Roger decided to do something. Rayleigh must defend the captain's decision. Just like in the sea restaurant Birdie, Zoro confronted Hawkeye duel, and finally Hawkeye cut Zoro with a knife. Luffy saw the whole process of Zoro being hacked. Did he make a move? Is Luffy not caring about Zoro? Or is the reckless Luffy cowardly in the face of Hawkeye? Neither. Luffy just respects Zoro's decision and trusts him unconditionally to get his work done. It's that simple. So, about the pirate ship, the naming of the pirate group. Kazan will definitely discuss with the younger brother Shiki. And at this time, Blue. Shaki answered the phone to the Queen of Worms. There was a voice immediately. Master Empress, Master Shiki killed the celestial dragons on Sabaody Island and is fighting with Marine. There are more and more Marines around. Hack and slay celestial dragons? It's Fuya's voice. Shiki is with her. Realizing the seriousness of the problem, Shaki immediately turned to look at Kazan. Shiki, he understood. Kazan naturally also heard the voice of the phone bug. Marines are responsible for the celestial dragons, and slaying celestial dragons is a big deal, even sending Marines out. However, Shiki's strength is not simple. But Kazan still decided to go to Sabaody Island. And in the phone bug, Fuya's nervous voice came again. Now there are 3 Marine high-ranking officials coming over. They are Marine's Vice Admiral. They have all transformed into violent animals, and they are all dealing with Master Shiki. 3. Zoan Vice Admiral. Kazan twirled his thumb over his index finger and ordered, "Go." On Murloc Tom's side, Kazan has already learned about it and even approached Tom's residence. He used the treasure hunting radar to detect it, but found no Pluton design. Therefore, the capital of Seven Waters can only be left for a while. Soon, in Benjamin Works, the astonished eyes of all the boatmen. A huge brand new pirate ship rises from the ground. Direct flight to Sabaody Archipelago. Kazan stood at the bow, his blonde hair flying. At this moment, the wind is blowing more violently. If anything happens to Shiki, Marine better accept the consequences. About combat power, Pes. Let me tell you a metaphor. Official information. Sengoku is 77 years old and Whitebeard is 72 years old, a difference of 5 years. If 30 years old is the dividing line of peak combat power. 30-year-old Whitebeard, equal in strength, 35-year-old Sengoku. It makes sense. 25-year-old Whitebeard, underpowered, 30-year-old Sengoku. That's right. They are all geniuses, with a difference in age. They are equal to older youths, beat-up stinky brats. Being close to the peak is an advantage in itself. Climb to the Valley of the Gods and fight with each other with their peak strengths. Only then can we be called rivals of the same era. The above are just metaphors. Age is a reference indicator, not the only indicator. Is it really reasonable for 18-year-old Shiki to kill 26-year-old Sengoku? Moreover, The 18-year-old Shiki is different from the peak Shiki in terms of mentality and way of handling things. Growth requires a process. Otherwise, Shiki in the Valley of Gods will step on him and sit on the Void Throne. You might as well, right? The Valley of the Gods croaked to the ground, crying and shaking rocks to death. The kind of uncle gives some strength. Your pussy is not hot. Starting milk powder spoon, a knife. Is your name Hawkeye? The boring previous accumulation is finished. After finishing this ticket, the plot speeds up and I go to New World. Next, let's talk. 49. No matter how strong a person is, there are also weaknesses. Here, New World Sengoku, Garp, and Zephyr are on the same warship. Boom. Garp punched the table, shaking the tea on the desk. Shen Sheng said, "What? That guy Kong told us to go back again. What do you mean?" His face was full of black lines. He gritted his back molars and said to Sengoku, "I just went to New World to set out a mission." Originally happily preparing to clean up the pirates in New World, but when he heard that he was going back to the headquarters, he immediately became angry. What a thing, you can order it around. Shiki appeared on Sabaody Island and beheaded the celestial dragons. The incident over there is huge. Garp. Sengoku sat on one side, arms crossed, eyes glistening with cold white light. He raised his eyes slightly and looked at Garp seriously, with a serious expression on his face. Garp was not to be outdone and said in a teasing tone, "It's just a dead pig. Is that important?" "Your statement is a bit." Sengoku has a headache. In short, on Sabaody Island, our marine has already met Shiki. The reason why Admiral asked us to go back is not just because Shiki is causing trouble on the island, but also to guard against the big brother behind him, Kazan. Here in Kazan, Garp gets angry. Last time, more than 90 people from the whole ship were buried in the bottom of the sea. This is hatred related to oneself. Of course, it must be reported. He didn't continue talking. Zephyr with purple hair stood up. "I heard that you have already fought Shiki. Are they strong?" "These two brothers are much stronger than ordinary people, and with the strange ability of floating objects, it is much more difficult to deal with." But Sengoku paused. No matter how strong a person is, he still has weaknesses. Zephyr felt the turning of the hull and looked at the sea in the distance. That's right, everyone has weaknesses, unless it's a leapfrog combat power. On Sabaody Island, marine soldiers fell one by one. The blood stained the ground and fused with the resin. Countless marines stared in astonishment. Shiki, a bounty of 520 million berry is offered. Now in the sea, the top 5 bounties exist, and they are only 18-year-old brats. In the eyes of many older marines, Shiki is just a stinky brat. But now, this terrifying super rookie appeared in Sabaody Archipelago in a grand manner. And make a fuss. Even killed the celestial dragons in front of the crowd. Does he know that Marine headquarters is not far from here? Marine is going to send someone over here. A Marine non-commissioned officer waved his arms and shouted, plausibly said, "Don't worry, our Marine has obtained enough information about Shiki. As long as we stick to it, we will surely win. There is an order from the headquarters. Just hold him back and wait patiently for more staff." Oh. A group of Marine non-commissioned officers cheered. They waited for such an opportunity for too long. The opponent is a big pirate with 500 million berry. If this battle is won, everyone involved in the operation will be credited. What's more, it's just holding back. It's not a direct confrontation at all. But just as they raised their guns and prepared to line up for defense, a gold figure flashed past. Marine's phalanx was immediately turned upside down. Cut. It's so noisy. You are a group of trash fish. No fun. Obviously, Shiki is the pirate. Seeing Marine rushing towards him, he had to retreat. But now it's completely reversed. However, Shiki felt nothing interesting and was beckoning people to leave. After all, my big brother is waiting for me to set sail. If you have experienced hand addiction here, you can learn a lesson that it is very boring to fight against a group of miscellaneous fish. Just at this time, 3 figures suddenly, wearing the cloak of justice, descended from the sky. When they landed, there were layers of air waves under their feet. It's the breath of the strong. What's all this? Shiki looked up. Zoan demon fruit power? On the ground of Sabaody Island, 2 Marines, one white and one black, landed with 2 pairs of wings, and the Marine officer with black wings was holding a burly middle-aged Marine in his sharp claws. The 3 of them completely turned back into human form, standing on the ground, with a sense of oppression coming over them. "Jia!" Shiki laughed and said, "Who are you 3 guys?" The headed middle-aged man with gray-white hair and a coat of justice landed first. Who is this man? Leighton Lukes. The corners of Leighton's mouth cracked to a strange extent, and there was a hint of ferocity in his eyes. Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral, Butcher Leighton, Zoan fish, fruit, ancient species, demo crocodile, capable user. I came here to kill you. Ron Seth, who had received black wings, had a hoarse voice like a Madara dove that hadn't drank water for several months. Why? And the man with white wings, wings on his back, his hands are free. He snapped his fingers. Zoan bird fruit, yin yin form ability user, Marine Vice Admiral, Swift, Monk Yulio. Leighton said, Shiki, Lousy will crush your bones and arrest you. Seth, TSK, your meat should be very delicious, right? Yulio, come on and escape, Shiki. Jia. Shiki laughed wildly and drew out his two knives. You Marines, this is not the first time someone has said that to Lousy, and the result is not a complete failure, so let's try it. Come on, little bastards. Boom. Lion double nails. Finger pistol. Iron body. Black cut. The four formally played against each other. Obviously, the 6 styles of these 3 people have reached a mature stage, and their skills are very agile. Marine 6 styles. Of course, almost all the commander-level people in Marine need to practice combat skills. This is a martial skill that can break through the limits of human beings. Especially for Zoan fruit ability users, Marine 6 styles are often the focus of their attack. Because Zoan's ability users are much stronger physically and have stronger resilience, such people are most suitable for close combat. The appearance of Marine 6 styles will undoubtedly make these people's combat effectiveness even better. Of course, the triple room. The Marine Vice Admiral named Leighton held a broadsword weapon in one hand. Jia. After a few fights, Shiki suddenly floated up. Just let Lousy. In this instant, a figure gallops past, and a black claw covered in armament hockey suddenly appears. Straight to the head of Shiki. Oh. 50-050, siege begins. Shiki is restrained. High above the sea, the flying ship is sailing. With the help of the wind, the boat sails very fast. But at the moment, the female warriors on board did not have the sense of surprise just now, and they all looked solemn. Under the popularity of Shaki, everyone is aware of the seriousness of the matter. On this sea, celestial dragons is a topic that should always be avoided in the thoughts and views of almost all common people. As the nobles of the world, celestial dragons have ruled the world for nearly 800 years, and they have long been demons in the eyes of some common people. Even, it is a demon that civilians cannot offend. If you encounter it, you should avoid it. But Shiki chose to kill him face to face. Seeing the worried look on the ship, Kazan said, Celestial dragons are just deformed creations of the times. It's okay to kill them, but there is still something about the arrangement of naval headquarters. Marines sent 3 Zoan ability users this time, and it seems that they have made sufficient preparations. Actually, Lion Fruit's ability, which belongs to Paramecia, is a fruit ability with a very high upper limit. Its core lies in creation and control. Flyable, controllable, relatively balanced. Developed to have a strong destructive power. But if it is not developed to a certain extent, the improvement in combat power will not be as great as imagined. What about Zoan? The animal ability of the flying department, the original form of the ability is all kinds of sky hunters, which are hunters exclusive to high altitudes. Compared with other series of flying ability users, there is no doubt that they have a high-altitude home court advantage. The animal ability of the ground type has rough skin, thick flesh, strong strength, and superior physical fitness. According to the information delivered by Fuya from the scene, the configuration of Marines sending 2 planes and 1 ground is undoubtedly an encirclement and suppression tactic specially arranged for Lion Fruit. Use the advantages to expand and control the entire battlefield. But Kazan isn't worried about Shiki. He's not just an ability user. In any case, I will soon arrive at Sabaody Island. Oh, it's fast. Shiki saw a white figure approaching with a sense of knowledge. His eyebrows jumped slightly, and he drew out his 2 knives with great interest and blocked the black claws with 1 knife. Beside him is a white swallow, whose wings are 2 meters long and covered with black Madara spots. Light as a swallow, swift in action. Unexpectedly, he used his claws to make a move. After all, Swift is a high-speed flying animal. In terms of flying ability, it is similar to a peregrine falcon. So, very agility at high altitude. But to put it bluntly, he only has this one specialty. But with this speed, containment is enough. Drink! Yulia roared, seeing that Shiki reacted very quickly to resist the attack of his claws. Without any hesitation, he flapped his wings, left the scene, and headed for a higher altitude. And the next second, a black shadow directly waved Black's big wings and slapped Shiki angrily. Call! Accompanied by the steel wings of the strong wind, the wings shot out like sharp blades and were knocked off by Shiki's Sakura Tenkiku. The sound of jingling resounded through the sky. Brush! There was a violent impact in an instant. With the flash of the attack, the shock wave dissipated without a trace. At last, the two turned into bird forms respectively, surrounding Shiki, constantly circling, waiting for an opportunity to move. Boom. On the ground, there was a huge sudden change in body shape, gray and white crocodile skin like a battle armor, covering the whole body. Leighton's face had turned into a crocodile mouth with fangs. A thick tail slapped the ground. Suddenly smoke and dust filled the air. Dino crocodile, human beast form. In addition to having armor-like defensive power, crazy strength, terrifying pounce, and bite abilities, it also possesses the wild aura of ancient wild beasts. It is through this ancient fruit that Leighton has been perfectly improved in all directions. As long as Shiki is within the attack range, Leighton will attack frequently. Boom, boom, boom. Along with the fighting, birds chirping, roaring, beasts roaring, the sound was endless. The battle between the three Marine vice-admirals and Shiki nearly destroyed the ground of Sabaody Island. Shiki wore an unrestrained smile. It's really troublesome. It seems that Marine is planning tactics against me, a lion fruit-capable user. Ha ha. But is it really useful? Fight for several rounds. Shiki saw it too. Two in the sky. The ability user of the vulture fruit is the main attacker. The ability user of swift fruit, speed, sneak attack, containment. Both are intended to take advantage of flight and limit their range of motion in the sky. And compared to the white ancient crocodile on the ground, the two flying ability users became assistants again. The purpose is to create an encirclement net between the sky and the earth. Let Piao Piao's ability be suppressed in all directions. Eventually made it to the ground and was captured. Jiahahaha. Shiki laughed and said, "Is it useful to have more people?" Snored. Stubborn brat. Leighton snorted coldly. "You brat must die. Justice is never late." Shiki hooked his fingers. "The more you count, the more disgusting you are. Lousy's bounty has been down for 5 or 6 years, and it has been increased 3 times. TSK, you Marines are really slack." Leighton, Seth, and Julio said angrily at the same time, "You are still arrogant when you are about to die. Watch out." At this moment, the ground suddenly cracked more than a dozen gaps, and they collapsed one after another. In the cracks, the unique resin of Sabaody Archipelago was mixed, and it was raised high like drawing silk. The whole island trembled slightly. The huge mangrove tree is full of vibrancy, and the fallen leaves are falling. Roar, roar. Following 4 roars, 4 shock waves swept across the ground. In the blink of an eye, it turned into 4 earth lions made up of the earth. Lion fruit ability users will touch and place floating marks on various substances at the beginning of the battle or during the battle. The purpose is to use it at any time during the battle. Leighton turned his head suddenly. His arms were covered with hardened skin, and the veins suddenly popped out. 4 beast roars swept over at the same time with huge momentum. Lion majesty, earth coiling. From seawater to ground soil, Shiki's lion fruit is very well developed and can be used for almost everything. The only thing that can limit him is his own strength. Face 4 mighty and majestic lions. Leighton frowned. Is this also lion fruit's ability? According to Sengoku's information, Shiki can manipulate sea water and create lion-like waves to attack the enemy. The sea is his home field. I didn't expect the land to float. Is the earth also under the control of lion fruit? That's right. Well-developed, lion fruit can even control a blizzard. Restricted by the strength of the ability, the form of expression, and the attack power are different. Roar. The eyes of the 4 lions are exceptionally sharp, and the pupils of a beast are extremely ferocious, making people stare frighteningly. What's more, there are earthquakes to follow. It is very difficult for people with poor strength to stand in front of earth coiling. Soon, in all directions, the lion has surrounded Leighton to death. Leighton tore open the crocodile's big mouth, remained silent, but his eyes became sharper. In marine intelligence, the lion fabricated by Shiki is very powerful, but for powerful single individual, it is not considered to have strong lethality. A group skill single combat power is definitely a weak point. But the destruction of the battlefield can limit the actions of the warriors on the ground. Drink. Suddenly, a sharp light appeared in Leighton's eyes. The two giant claws that had already turned into beasts bit together, and the short and thick legs kicked hard. There was an air wave from the soles of the feet, and they spun and burst out instantly. Death rolls. A gray and white whirlwind-like figure shot out, bombarded on one of the lions, and the lion majesty earth coiling. Boom. Digging, cutting, rubbing, the sound came. Passing through, a large empty hole appeared in front of everyone. And in an instant, Leighton had escaped the lion majesty's attack range. Jia, not bad. Shiki chuckled lightly. It seems that there is still not enough firepower to deal with the strong. Every battle is an accumulation of experience. Developing new moves requires field trials. Through a lion majesty earth coiling, it can be seen from the side that the Zoan-capable user in front of him is very physically fit. Unexpectedly, by rolling his body, using his body as hard as steel, he could gain the ability to break through the ground. Such a person can't be trapped to death. Normal moves have no effect on them. But don't forget, I am a great swordsman. He's also a great swordsman who pays attention to the improvement of all directions. Shooting. Shiki spit out two words lightly and instantly pulled out the musket that he snatched from celestial dragons before. Aim for Leighton. Ready for a bullet. Question mark. Gun. You don't need a sword, but a gun? Leighton couldn't help laughing in his heart. Is the gun useful to Zoan? I am an ancient species of crocodile. The hard leather is like iron armor. Will a low-level weapon like a gun be useful? Seth, who is capable of the vulture fruit, and Yulio, who is capable of the yin-yang fruit, who are circling in the sky, are a little amused in their hearts. They watch the show quietly in the sky. Sabaedes Island is within Marine's control, and the time is quite sufficient for the three capable users. Besides, the longer the fight, the better for Zoan. Aim for Leighton's head. Boom. Facing the bullets that came lazing, Leighton actually didn't care and directly caught them with his hands. Puff. Blood poured in and burst out directly from the palm of his hand. Pain instantly spread all over his body. This bullet actually caused Leighton, who was in the form of a crocodile, to break through the defense in an instant. Passing through the thick palm, the bullet lodged in a crevice in the skin of his face. Leighton's expression was horrified. He looked at the 2 centimeters wide blood hole on his palm and muttered to himself, "A bullet that covers the weapon? Fortunately, I used my palm to resist the power. Otherwise, it would have entered my head." That's right. The Kazan brothers have been in contact with Amazon Lily's female warrior for more than 9 months. In addition to daily sharpening, Shiki has also learned Amazon's armament hockey. The small matter of accurately attaching hockey to bullets is already at your fingertips. Integrate hockey into the combat system. It's what he always does. Because Kazan said that the world is not only about swordsmanship and devil fruit. Hockey is the factor that makes a qualitative change in combat power. See Leighton break the defense. The 2 people in the sky suddenly became a little furious, and they were also very uncomfortable. The opponent's method seems to be more than just the 2 famous knives in his hand. It's so boring. Shiki blew away the gunpowder smoke from the muzzle of the gun and said, "Show some real skills. Let's act together." As a trio dispatched by Naval Headquarters, it's not a joke to come here. There is no doubt that Sengoku's intel is not entirely accurate. Shiki's means are far more than the intelligence. Even high-level applications such as armed color covering bullets. I came here with a mission, and Shiki's head was to be brought back. Brush. Boom. In an instant, 3 against 1. Shiki knew that he would have to face it sooner or later, but facing a 3-person double team, it was not easy to escape. What's more, these 3 people are like a set of precision instruments. It is running exactly according to the set program. White's figure flashed past. Several sharp claws pierced the air. Setha Black's figure, using the huge wings like iron feathers to incite, resisted Sakura Tokaku with his powerful feet, while the ferocious force on the ground dinosaurs can even jump up and bite. Such a pity. Shiki scolded secretly. I really don't make any mistakes. Point 1 interferes. 1 attacks, and 1 waits to attack. They're all Zoans with their own specialties. They cooperate with each other tacitly. It can be seen that they have been practiced. What kind of concept is this? In other words, the Marine trio has specialties in attack, speed, and defense. It's just that the characteristics of these three fruit abilities are placed on the three people respectively. If a person possesses all the abilities, it would be accurate to use the hexagonal warrior to describe it. But now the combination of the three of them is no worse than one person. As a lion fruit-capable person, Shiki is used to the kind of battles that played tricks on people before. The characters seem to call. For the first time, Shiki also felt that the battlefield was restricted. 51-051. Shiki, look at you, your clothes are all torn. Shiki is handy with his superb sword skills. But only you know you're suffering. The three opponents are all Zoan-capable users. Their physical strength recovers very quickly, and they're tough and resistant to beatings. Leighton's palm had already stopped bleeding and even started to heal. It's really pervert. Shiki couldn't help complaining. And his own physical strength, facing this high-density siege, is also rapidly depleting. Come here. Shiki's eyes flashed and he roared angrily. Sakura held her hands backwards and swung out with a sword. A powerful gold slash wave directly towards the sky. The goal is to be the fastest. The rain with the weakest defense. At the same time, Seth's Vulture's melon has come to Yuyo, covering armament hockey, and the explosive power of the kick caused slash waves sword light to change direction, slashing and cutting on the huge red tree, and the sap flowed out. Be careful. Leave the attack to me. Shiki is not easy to fool. Yuyo, Seth, and Leighton looked at each other, with more attention in their eyes. Shiki is far more difficult to deal with than the intelligence records. Even if Marine has mastered Lion Fruit's weakness and specially uses the advantages of the three zones to target it, forming a targeted encirclement net, it will not be easily captured. It is enough to see that Shiki's temporary combat talent is off the charts. After making eye contact, the three shot at the same time, attacking from three directions. Seth and Yuyo can both fly, with Marine 6 styles in the air. They have a flexible figure. On the ground, Leighton is Rare's ancient species of crocodile, which has a high fault tolerance rate and can attack unscrupulously. The three of them stopped being careless and cooperated with the attack. No matter how many tricks Shiki has, it is impossible to resist easily. These three people were originally a combination that Kong specially deployed from various branches for the ability of the Kazan brothers. The three who got the secret mission naturally wouldn't make mistakes easily. Shiki's head is worth 500 million berry. Get promoted and get rich, just watch this time. Fighting. Stuck in a stalemate. At this moment, in Admiral's office, Kong looked at the screen in front of him and frowned. These three combined, they can't attack for a long time. Frequent high-explosive battles, Paramecia demon fruit power, should quickly consume stamina. It seems that Shiki is not as simple as imagined. Sengoku didn't measure his true strength at the time. But Sengoku's analysis is correct. It is correct to be able to control the air supremacy of fluttering abilities. Sooner or later, Shiki will be consumed by three people. Kong turned to look at the assistant on the side. Where are Sengoku and the others? The assistant replied, already close to New World's red line. The entire sea is separated by the red line, and New World and Paradise are separated by this natural barrier. A Marine can use the suspension bridge of the Holy Land to cross the red line because of Mariehua. This route is much closer than the Fishmin Island, which has to sink 10,000 meters. Kong Admiral nodded. If any of Garp, Sengoku, and Zephyr were in the headquarters, the battle on Sabaody Island might have ended. Do you want to send some additional staff? Considering this, Sora couldn't help shaking his head. No. Rock started expanding in New World, and Naval Headquarters was almost fully staffed to keep up with him doing crazy things. If Sengoku and the others hadn't been out for a long time, Sora wouldn't be able to call him back. No longer thinking about it, Kong continued to stare at the information on the scene. This moment, the battlefield of Sabaody Island. Shiki has fallen into a state of insanity, showing a terrible calendar by himself. Armed color-covered double blades. From time to time, the bullets shot coldly are wrapped around armament hockey. Swords collide. The leaked Conqueror's hockey. Observation, hockey distribution. Three kinds of hockey are used back and forth on Shiki. While being attacked by three capable users, Shiki can also counterattack interspersedly, making the three Marine Vice Admirals in a state of nervous tension all the time. This Shiki actually has Conqueror's hockey. It's not easy, but he's also at the end of his rope. As long as it doesn't crush the combat power, the longer the time, the more invincible Zoan will be. Only Zoan can kill others. Sooner or later, two capable users of the flying department flapped their wings in disgust at high altitude. Jiahahaha_. Stop it. Shiki also saw that the strategy of these three people was to consume himself to death. Realize that these three people have a clear purpose. Here is Sabayati Island again, and the marine increase is very close. It's not good for you to waste it. Suddenly, Shiki controlled the musket that he had snatched earlier and let it float in the air in front of him. Then used strength to control Inin. Next second, Shiki jumped up, stepped on it, and regarded the gun as a small land. At the moment when the gun was under force, his whole body lost the ability to float. Boom. In an instant, Shiki's body shot out like an arrow from the string. Lion cut. Wow. This is the price for your self-righteousness. In an instant, Yuliyo found himself locked by Shiki again. What was different before was that Shiki had already rushed up, and his speed had reached ultimate at this moment. Yuliyo couldn't help being a little stunned. The gold figure passed by with a muku knife in hand. A piece of Yuliyo's white wings was chopped off in an instant. The whole person fell vertically in pain. Damn it, you bastard. It can actually be so fast in the air. Help me quickly. Lion fruit-capable users can float islands as land, and a small musket can control its stability for a short time. This is Shiki's unique trick to break the game. Use your explosive power to gain ultimate speed. Maybe Shiki can't fly as fast as Zoan, but as long as there is a fulcrum, the body explodes, and it can also teleport a certain distance. No. Shiki, who occupies a trace, must kill Yuliyo first, even in the face of Seth's pursuit behind him. He fell very fast. What came on coming was indeed the mouth of a dinosaur. Crack. Death rolls. A whirlwind of gray death tornado rushed straight up. Shiki could only wield his two knives and slash on the nose of the dinosaur in human and animal form. Yin TT. Buzz. The aura of the mighty armament hockey exploded instantly. Force. Directly let Leighton, a user with the ability to form a crocodile, roll his eyes for a short while, and after his vision returned to normal in a flash, he saw that the black shadow had come, and the corner of his mouth could not help showing an arc. Facing the alliance of the three, I actually became murderous. You underestimate us. Soon, Shiki's back suffered a blow from the vulture ability, user Seth. Also exploit the flaws of being attacked. Shiki's body rotated, and the slash directly struck Seth's iron-feathered chest. Boom. The combined attack of the three made Shiki fly upside down and fall to the ground. Call. Shiki, who fell to the ground, couldn't help panting for a long time. What the hell? All the clothes are broken. The combination of these three guys is a big trouble for lion fruit ability users. The ground and the sky cooperate seamlessly. It is indeed a very difficult thing to take advantage of. With the loss of physical strength, I'm afraid that I will become weaker and weaker. 0. It will take less than half an hour. The hard battle will be heated up. Fortunately, the previous marine trash fish have been almost cleaned up, and the remaining marine soldiers were also blocked by a few female warriors of the Amazon lily brought by Shiki. Otherwise, facing the sniping of these marine soldiers, I'm afraid that they will be even more passive. There are also advantages to having a large number of people. And at this time, Yuliyo, who fell to the ground, stood up again. His arm had been cut off by Shiki, and he was waiting for an opportunity on the ground. If necessary, he would transform again and fly into the air to hinder Shiki's actions. TSK, TSK, TSK. It really hurts. Shiki, you almost cut off your entire arm. Seth looked at the chopped off feathers on his chest, and the blood flowed out, and he couldn't help being afraid for a while. If I hadn't been Zoan, this knife would have cut right into the heart. Leighton reminded, focus on him. He's at the end of his battle. The eyes of the three became more serious. Neither did they. Unexpectedly, Shiki can make an effective counterattack under the net of heaven and earth. Almost let him go. Fortunately for Zoan, this small injury does not affect his actions, and he can recover again after fighting. Like Leighton's palm, it was healed by the moment. The three fought separately. Shiki is like a trapped animal in the center of the double team. Damn it, if you have the power to crush, you won't be so passive. Now the route in the air is cut off, and the ground is an ancient species, and it is also interfered by the power of the AI. IT is impossible to hack and kill with all our strength. And at this time, a huge shadow of a boat floated across the battlefield of the three of them. Everyone couldn't help looking up, and it turned out to be a spaceship hovering in the sky. Next moment, boom, a thunderbolt exploded around Shiki. Thunder flashes. Gathering into Chi's figure, a voice came. Shiki, fortunately, there is nothing wrong. Call out. Then, a whirlwind gathered around Shiki. Shiki, I'm in a bit of a mess this time. Look at you, your clothes are all torn. Brother. Shiki was completely surprised. Garps. 52-052. Brutal killing. Golden harpoon. Return gift. Sabaody Island, this huge ship is. Those who were on guard against the marine soldiers, those who had the courage to watch the battle from a distance, stood there with their heads raised in shock when they saw the huge sailing ship in the sky. Who would have thought that giant flying ships really existed in the world? But this feeling of shock did not last long. These people were overwhelmed by the howling wind and the huge thunder. Scared to come back to my senses. Is killing celestial dragons something that pirates can do? They are the Kazan brothers. The one who killed the celestial dragons is the younger brother Shiki, and the one who is here now is the elder brother Kazan. They are all big pirates from the New World who offer a reward of hundreds of millions of berry. Terrible. Someone actually made celestial dragons their enemy. Gee, ha 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 ha. Seeing Kazan coming, Shiki immediately let go of his exhaustion and relaxed. It was obvious that the big brother was waiting for him in the water capital, but he was besieged, and his brother came to find him himself. This feeling let Shiki's heart be filled with an indescribable emotion. Compared to the big brother who is strategizing, his younger brother seems to have been lagging behind. From childhood to adulthood. Jiahahaha. Shiki could only use wild laughter to release this emotion. All right. Kazan laughed. Shiki nodded heavily. That's good. If it weren't for the fact that the two capable users in the air were afraid of Shiki's swordsmanship and dared not approach rashly during the attack, and the form of the crocodile on the ground, seeing that 993 looks bad, Shiki might have been taken down. Fortunately, it only took half of my physical strength, and I was fine. Now, of course, I want to gang up on others. Shiki discovered that Shaki had actually become a Thunder Fruit-capable user. It seems that the combat power of the pirate group has grown rapidly again. Kazan found the Logia Thunder Fruit on Sky Island. Shiki knew about it, and was surprised at the time, but later because no one ate it, Shiki didn't pay attention anymore. Apparently, Shaki became a Thunder Fruit-capable user. During this time, Shiki thought that the big brother had actually found Devil Fruit, so he always wanted to contribute to the team and paid attention to the auction site on Sabaody Island. The result was the Headshot Celestial Dragons event. Brother, this is Paramecia, the fruit of the door. Shiki took out a strangely shaped fruit from White's bosom. Pass it to Kazan. Ding, is detected that the host has touched the secret treasure of the sea, Paramecia Min fruit, and the fortune value is plus 15. Door fruit. Well, this fruit is very important to us. Shiki, you're doing great. This trip not only harvests devil fruit, but also increases fortune value. Kazan couldn't help being a little surprised. He patted Shiki on the shoulder and put the fruit into the space. The ability of the door fruit is that the ability user can open a glass door anywhere, allowing people to come in and out freely. The places where the doors open include air, flames, and the human body. It is the ability to bring its own space. The convenient ability of this rule system can be said to be strategic for a pirate group. If it is further developed, there may be even greater effects. However, now is not the time to worry about this. Shiki proudly said again. It was snatched from that ugly monster in the auction house. Kazan suddenly felt that the celestial dragon's kill was worth it. It's good to kill. Can we fight again? I'm fine, Shiki said firmly. Rub. After speaking, the ghost of first generation came out of its sheath. The tip of the knife stood a foot away from the ground, and a faint green wind dragon perched on a blade. Kazan looked at the vultures, swifts, and giant crocodiles in front of him. You have a minute to say your last words. Kazan. Will? After Kazan finished speaking, Leighton and the other three vice admirals instantly felt their scalps go numb. Trouble. Shiki can't attack for a long time, And now there is an extra Kazan. This accident is enough to disrupt the tactics of the three. Moreover, Kazan also has a person who seems to be the controller of the Logia Thunderbolt. With the addition of personnel, the battlefield situation is instantly reversed. All of a sudden, Leighton and others who experienced many battles didn't know how to make a choice. However, compared to the three Marine vice admirals on the scene, Kong, who was far away in Marineford, frowned deeply into the word. Kazan, the big brother, is harder to deal with than Shiki. He is Lion Fruit, the dual ability user of Wind Fruit. But it was even more difficult for Kong to accept the woman next to Kazan. Shiki, bounty 90 million berry, captain of the New World Peony Pirates. As Marine Admiral, Sora didn't have to worry about such little thieves. But now, Shiki has attached Kazan with his team. Exaggeration is, Shiki is also a Logia Thunder Fruit-capable user. This raised the hidden potential of the pirates to an unprecedented level. Kazan, two brothers. Could it be that, like rocks, they have started to build their own forces? Seeing that the balance was broken, Leighton was no longer his opponent. Call Leighton immediately and tell them to retreat. Also, when will Garp and the others arrive at Sabaody Island? Let them hurry up. Is it still in time? Estimated hanging. The sense of emptiness was not good, and the tone of the order was a little hasty. Boo, boo, boo. Leighton took out the phone bug from his pocket and got the evacuation order from Admiral's office. I see, we retreat immediately. Now it's 3-on-3, and Marine has no chance of winning. Leighton gave a direct look. Seth and Yulio nodded slightly. At this time, Shiki's voice came. Retreat. Have you forgotten how to besiege me? Retreat. If you let you leave alive, wouldn't I be a joke in the world? Last words, let's go. Shiki's previous aggrievedness was completely released, and he kept mocking. You. Leighton was at a loss for words. Withdraw. Leighton turned into a human and beast form, stepped on the ground, and rushed towards the direction of the warship, while Seth turned into a giant black vulture, kicked his legs, and flew towards the sky, and the rainflow also turned into a language of beast form, hissing away from the ground. Kazan directly ordered, quick fight. Shiki nods. In a flash, it turned into lightning. Appear on the route of Yulio's escape. After possessing Thunder Fruit, Shiki has become a Thunderbolt. She has released a large number of electrons in the air through her debut, and now she realizes teleportation through the transmission of electrons. At the same time, she can also use the body of lightning to pass through various metals, and even wet and conductive walls. This ability can be called Logia's extreme speed. In the blink of an eye, Shiki just intercept the person directly. Her voice came, Do you want to race against thunder? Yulio couldn't help but widen his eyes and immediately turned to escape. 30 million volts, discharge. Boom. A flash of blue lightning was pushed out from Shaki's hand, like a ray, directly passing through Yulio's body, and the thunder hit the ground, causing countless Marines to also be electrocuted. The entire battlefield is reflected in bursts of white thunder. The surrounding area is even more wailing. Zazizi. Although the rain current uses armament hockey to defend, the electric current seems to penetrate everywhere, putting the whole body in a state of paralysis for a short time. And for a short moment, Shiki has found the opportunity to come to him. One knife cut off Yulio's 2 arms, and then another one cut on his back. The bright red exploded immediately, looking at the figure of Yulio falling to the ground. Shiki sneered, Zoan's resilience, is it as fast as the Sakura 10 would in my hand? Next, Shiki, Kazan, let's make it fast. Shaki's voice fell, and the thunder flashed again. Soon, Seth, a vulture fruit-capable user, was also killed, although they all have the ability to fly. But in front of the thunder of nature, the speed of birds and beasts is still reduced to slag in seconds. At the same time, they both have armament hockey, plus the Zoan itself has strong defenses. Maybe they'll be able to hold off the low-volt thunderbolts. But at the same time, Shiki's knowledge is not a vegetarian, and he found them in a moment, and his body was paralyzed. Resolutely stepped forward to make up the knife. Just a moment of numbness, they can only end up decapitated. No. The surrounding Marine soldiers are completely numb. The 2 Zoan vice admirals, who were at an infinite advantage before, were brutally killed in a blink of an eye. There is no way to fight back at all. Many Marine recruits who couldn't accept this result have already cried. The diver. Where did this dot come from? It's too scary, the fleeting battle. I can't imagine it. Seth Vice Admiral, Rainstream Vice Admiral. Some reporters hid in the dark, shaking their license plates at the scene. This is definitely big news. If such a battle process is described, the whole world will probably be shocked by it. The other side. The Kazan wind fruit is elementalized, and after compression, it becomes a tiny hurricane. Between breaths, the converging figure came above Leighton. Seth, Rainstream. Watching two colleagues being killed one after another, Leighton's face was full of fear. Shiki, the cooperation of these two. Without a doubt, far more perfect than their Zoan trio. Extremely fast. Control. Blast. Leighton knew he couldn't escape, so he could only try to fight. Iron body. Kazan held a knife in both hands, and the blade of first-generation Onitsu slashed directly. Leighton raised his black hands like crocodile claws, defending with his iron body. But at this time, the blade of first-generation Onitsu did not touch Leighton. Between the knife and Leighton's arms, there is actually a soft green light cluster. It seems that there are strips of green lines intertwining and flowing. This is wind. At the moment of Leighton's reaction, the green light group suddenly flashed. The whole space exploded. The immeasurable gust of wind danced wildly like a sharp blade, bursting out. The entire ground was swept by the wind, and at this moment, a 1.1 semicircle of 20 meters or so was blown out, a depression. Leighton stood in the sunken pit. He maintained a defensive state with his hands raised high. But even if he is an ability user in the form of an ancient species of crocodile, even if he is covered with animal skins like iron armor, but at this moment, streams of blood also spurted out like fountains of nourishing water. Who? Alive? Zoan paired with iron body, the defense is really strong. Kazan will show no mercy to those who hunt down Shiki. A wheel the size of a ping-pong ball immediately formed on the palm of the hand. It was directly stuffed into Leighton's huge mouth, panting wildly. How about this? The next moment. As Kazan loosened his grip on the wheel spiraled out of control in Leighton's belly. Everyone saw that a crocodile swelled into a spherical shape. Leighton's nasal cavity, mouth, suddenly a gust of bright red wind. The whole person is like a deflated balloon, floating randomly in this space. Shiki, a harpoon. Kazan calls out a certain amount of gold. Shiki immediately understood the meaning and threw it at the golden butterfly. Lay metallurgy. Zizizi. After the thunder flashes. A harpoon made of gold done. The harpoon threaded the three bodies. Kazan turned his head and said, Shiki, since Marine gave you a gift, then we should also return the gift, right? Oh. Shiki's eyes immediately surprised. No, it's total ecstasy. 53-053, Conqueror's entangled, fear false. Marineford, Admiral's office. Seeing the bloody screen in front of him, Kong Chi's hands trembled. He never expected that he just blinked an eye. The three vice admirals with his own ability were brutally murdered in seconds, and definitely a well-trained Marine elite. If it is said that Seth and Yulia were shot by Shiki using Thunderfruit's extreme speed and Shiki's precise swordsmanship, it was an accident. What about Leighton? Leighton is in the form of Zoan's ancient species of crocodile. The leather armor of the crocodile is as hard as iron armor. He is the most defensive Zoan. Apart from being unable to fly, his physical fitness is the best among the three. If it were anyone in the headquarters, no one could take his death roll by force. But Leighton was caught up and killed by Kazan. And how much storm power could be compressed by that quiet green wind group, so that Leighton, who uses the iron body and is also an ancient Dino crocodile form ability, has his whole body broken until he is covered with bloody wounds. What's the difference between that and 1,000 cuts? Kong thought of the standing figure in the round pit, unable to move. Kazan also stuffed a wind ball into it, smashing all the internal organs. Kong no longer dared to imagine that scene in his mind. Wind. In nature, wind is a mild element. Even a strong wind can only cause damage to the building. It is very difficult to scratch human skin, but the seemingly gentle elements have become violent and rampant in Kazan's hands. Logia, the wind fruit, is as sharp as a knife, penetrating into every hole. Kong fell into a rut. Watching helplessly on the screen, the giant sailboat left. And at this moment, Sabaody Dejima's sight. At the end of the battle, only a few 10 seconds later. Sorry we're late. Garp, Sengoku, Zephyr, came here non-stop from New World. Even moonwalk, shaving, and various means are frequent. It turned out to be a step too late. Shiki looked up at the spaceship that had gone away, and the three of them clenched their fists until their knuckles turned white. In front of Sengoku, there is a big pit. The big pit is like being carved by a thin knife. There are little Madara inside, full of bright red blood, so dense that it makes one's scalp tingle. Sengoku frowned and summoned a marine soldier to understand the situation. The marine soldier was trembling, and his tongue was already weak. War Sengoku Rear Admiral, just now. They took the body away. Hear the marine soldier stammer the whole process. Sengoku took a deep breath to calm himself down a bit. It seems that targeting lion fruit is effective, but Shiki waited for his rescue, while Leighton, Seth, and Rainflow did not wait for us. Storm strangulation, has it been developed by Kazan to this extent? Golden harpoon? Harpoon the bodies of the three vice admirals? Looking up at the giant sailing ship as big as a sesame seed in the distance, Sengoku suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. That direction? Not good. Their next target is naval headquarters. Can we still catch up? Even the careless Garp's eyes became calm and fierce. If he had paid attention to it back then, Kazan would not have been able to get the wind fruit. Now, let Leighton not be strangled to death by the storm. Garp's face was terribly cold. Zephyr took a deep breath. The three of them came here out of breath. Going to Marineford now will not be a dog. But Sengoku calmed down and persuaded the two of them. We can only do our best. Let's go arrange the boat immediately. High altitude. The pirate ship is sailing. Kazan made a move, and the wind dragon immediately swam towards the sky. After a while, another small dark cloud gathered in the sky behind the pirate ship. The dark clouds gradually became thicker, and gradually dark clouds pressed down on the environment, gradually becoming more spectacular. And the side of the ship. Under the boat, there were three corpses hung with golden harpoons. From the tip of the harpoon, blood continued to drip into the sea. Drop. Despair. It took more than 10 seconds before it dripped into the sea. Dick. Unlike the dull atmosphere when they came to Sabaody Island, the pirate group is laughing and laughing at this moment. There are exclamations of admiration everywhere. Master Shiki is so powerful. You actually hit 3 with 1, and they are all tactics designed to target your weaknesses. Gee, ha 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 ha. Almost. Luckily my brother is here. Shiki couldn't help laughing out loud when talking about the previous experience. Listen to Shiki's experience of being under siege. The surrounding members couldn't help but be terrified. However, there will be no next time. Shiki calmed down and said. Kazan shook his head negatively. Don't underestimate Marine's background. They rely on Mariehua, which is the largest violent organization in the world. This time they can bring out 3 Zoan-capable users, and next time there may be other means. We went to Marineford this time to warn them that there will be a price to be paid for hunting down our brothers. Talking. Kazan waved again, and a dark cloud followed. Brother, what do you think the name of our pirate group should be? Shiki said suddenly. I heard from the crew that Kazan delayed naming the pirates because he didn't arrive. Shiki was very moved inside. So now take the initiative to ask. Kazan. Shiki, what do you think? Shiki, both of us can fly, and our ship can fly too. Why don't we call them the Air Pirates? Kazan. It's called the Air Pirates. Everyone except Kazan. Hey? Master Kazan decided so quickly. Master Shiki, Flying Sky Pirates is such a good name, you haven't thought about it for a long time. Gee, ha 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 ha. Shiki waved his hand nonchalantly. Nothing. Shaki added, Sky Pirates. Shiki, what a fitting name. What about the pirate ship? It should have a name too. Right, Master Kazan? Such a beautiful ship should have a meaningful name. Kazan laughed. Flying Musicians. Kazan is too lazy to think about it, although he has no nostalgia for the hometown of Nuxus, but it is the place where he and Shiki met, and it is also the place where the story begins. The meaning is not bad. Good. Shiki nodded, thinking of the scene where the two brothers ate a fruit and floated in the air. Soon, the two brothers decided on the information of the pirate group. Shiki proposed the name of the pirate group, Flying Sky Pirates. Kazan proposed the name of the pirate ship, the Flying Musician. As the team builds, At this time, the voice of the system sounded in Kazan's mind. Question mark. Ding. It is detected that the host has established a flying pirate group. Experience points plus 50 defense. Get the Conqueror's entry branch. Conqueror's winding. Hiss. It's Conqueror's winding. Seeing this award, Kazan couldn't help being overjoyed. Because he has been waiting for this reward for too long. It can be said that Conqueror's entanglement is an inevitable skill for entering the peak powerhouse. It can also be regarded as a stepping stone for the peak powerhouse. Just like Luffy in the Wanakuni Ghost Island chapter, who has the Conqueror's entanglement, is qualified to wrestle with the peak powerhouse Kaido. Otherwise, you can only be beaten passively. Conqueror's is divided into several stages. Unconscious awakening, using Haki to shock, gathering Haki to wrestle. The next stage is Conqueror's winding. The essence of Conqueror's is the courage of the strong, and it suppresses the attack for the spirit. When it reaches a certain level, it can produce physical attack effects. After wrapping Conqueror's, every blow it swings is a double blow of spirit and physics. Damage doubled. Kazan didn't expect that at the moment when he formed the pirates, he finally got this reward. Knowing about Conqueror's, Kazan quickly recovered from his excitement. Conditional use is unconsciously. The dark clouds behind the flying decision are getting denser. In front of everyone. The island of Marineford can already be seen vaguely. Shiki, Feng Chi. Get ready, it's time for our flying pirates to give gifts. Oh who? Shiki's eyes lit up. Immediately stood up and twisted his neck. Marine can carry out targeted hunting and killing of the two brothers. Don't the two brothers take the initiative to go back? People who don't know think that the two brothers have no temper. Use flying to round up Shiki, then get ready to suffer from being suppressed by flying. Now that the feud is over. Sign up today, of course. If you don't hurt Marine, you think the two brothers are really easy to mess with. Only. Kazan looked around. They haven't found a suitable ability user to eat the fruit of the door. Although Amazon Lily's female warrior's combat power is fine. But if 670 is talking about talent, none of them stand out. The fruit of the door is undoubtedly a powerful fruit, but a team must have suitable candidates and reasonable development to bring out its value. And wait after today. The Flying Pirates are going to compete in New World soon. Kazan hopes to find the right person in New World. It's a pity that only so many people appear in the original book. Edward Newgate has joined the Rocks team. Charlotte Lin Lin, who is only 13 years old now, doesn't know where she is except for the bounty. John, Silver Axe, Achiku. Achiku couldn't see it anymore of that guy apart from knowing current affairs. Didn't see any special talents. Kaido, Bullet. These rising stars have not yet been born, or are still babies. The Red Earl Redfield. As for observation Haki, who sees through people's hearts, will such people choose to join a team? Kazan was thinking. The air pirates have arrived in Marineford. Marineford Square. Have you heard? On Sabaody Island, the Kazan brothers and these two villains caused our headquarters to lose 3 vice admirals. Hiss. Are you sure you heard it right? Vice Admiral, the third member of the headquarters? There are still 3 Zoan ability users, and one more is an ancient species of crocodile. Damn pirates. The moths of the sea. You should kill them all if you see them. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Marines gathered in 2s and 3s, chatting and sharing knowledge in the square. From time to time, there was a sound of exclamation, and voices of indignation continued to come out. But slowly, some people at the scene noticed something was wrong. The sky seemed to be slowly turning black. Marines raised their heads together and saw a large cloud of dark clouds looming over the sky. It's done. The storm is coming. The training is over. Tomorrow I will go to sea to kill pirates. That's right. How can you let those bugs sail the sea? Rumble. Wait, there is something in the dark clouds. It's a pirate ship.